This downing of a balloon by an F-22 Raptor, looked at it and thought that's a bit of overkill. Anyway, this is again another instance of just even more kind of, more of a fracas between the two. But don't forget there was also a balloon over South America as well.
Yes, indeed. I mean, it's pretty extraordinary development for a weekend where we were meant to see a resetting or a normalizing of US-China ties with Blinken visiting Beijing. So it's certainly a very different turn. The other question, of course, is whether the US, in their eyes, is able to confirm definitively now whether this is indeed surveillance technology. So the other thing they'll be looking for, sources telling us, is whether the technology involved when they find this debris includes technology made in the US or from other allies. And if we do see that confirmed, of course, that could give the US an excuse to sort of extend some of the sanctions we've seen. There are, of course, very heavy domestic pressures weighing on both Xi Jinping and Biden when it comes to figuring out a response to this too. As you say, quite a heavy-handed and certainly a public spectacle when it comes to the US dealing with this.
All right, we are getting some lines also, perfect timing, from the Foreign Ministry of China responding to that U.S. downing of the Chinese balloon. They're saying China tells us not to take actions, telling the U.S., I should say, not to take actions to harm China's interests. And certainly there's a lot of questions about what's going to be coming up next.
Yes,
I mean, how can they actually salvage ties now when we're not really sure if they actually reached a bottom in this relationship?
Sure, I think that's the big doubt, that we haven't actually been able to put guardrails on this relationship, as Biden said, that we haven't found a flaw. As you say, Beijing earlier, before this latest statement, came out with something quite robust, saying that they reserve the right to protect the interests of this company and to respond. Sort of quite sort of more extreme language, shall we say, than what we had seen earlier, where they were urging cool heads to prevail. And so, of course, it now depends partly on the extent to which Xi Jinping feels a pressure to respond to the domestic audience, that China is perceived to be under threat from external pressures too.